We're going to begin tonight's forum with the candidates running for place one, which includes Dominga Gardner and Kathy Haman. Ms. Haman is here tonight, but is struggling with her voice, so she will have Bob Caliento representing her. We're going to start place one opening statements by welcoming Dominga Gardner.
Good evening. My name is Dominga Gardner, running for Helena City Council Place 1. I've proudly called Helena home since 2006, and I'm a lifelong public servant. For the past 19 years, I've worked in local government, improving systems, solving problems, and making sure everyday people are seen, heard, and supported. And more than anything, I am a servant leader. I ran this race 5 years ago, but I fell short. And just like a track meet, I may have lost that round, but I didn't give up. I stayed in the race, I kept serving, and I still am. Since 2020, I have consistently attended the council meetings. I stayed engaged, informed, and ready to act. I didn't wait for a title to start doing that work. I just did it. As a volunteer track and field coach here at this very school, I work with young athletes to grow in skill and character. It's not just about competition. It's about showing up with purpose, pushing through challenges, and finishing strong. Coaching has reinforced the importance of consistency, accountability, and teamwork, something that I carry with me every day. And just like on the track, leadership in city government means staying to strive with the community, listening closely like every voice carries the baton, removing barriers to progress, and setting the pace of inclusive forward momentum. Let me ask you, how many times have you went out to the city website looking for information, whether it's about a meeting or a local event? I believe residents shouldn't have to dig to be informed. I want you to have that information at your fingertips. Strengthening communication is one of my top priorities. Ensuring that you all have a seat at the table with us, because an informed community is an empowerment. And as leadership expert John Maxwell said, a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. That's the kind of leadership I believe in, one grounded in action, vision, and service. I'm running because I love this city, but loving Helena is not enough. That means working for it. That means smart, strategic growth. It means properly staffing police and fire so every neighborhood feels safe. It means investing in infrastructure, investing in economic development, and investing in programs that keep our families connected. Now I want to bring transparency to the city, use my systems experience to modernize communication, and create more opportunities for youth, families, seniors to thrive. I believe true leadership doesn't chase the spotlight. True leadership listens. True leadership learns. And true leadership leads by example. So what I'm asking for your vote and your trust, because this is not about me, it is about us working together. Let's build a stronger, smarter, more united Helena together. Vote Dominga Coach G. Gardner for Helena Place 1 on August 26th. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gardner. We now welcome Bob Caliento, representing Kathy Haman.
I'll be speaking in presentation of the church programs. I'm here today because I believe our city works best when leadership and residents trust each other, and that starts with service communication, accountability, and a firm commitment to fiscal responsibility. I have extensive experience in contract management and small business financial oversight, and I will be a responsible steward of taxpayer dollars. Every dollar our city spends should be done so with transparency, efficiency, and purpose. That's why I push for clear, accessible monthly financial reports to be posted online, open meetings, and public feedback, and easy-to-use tools so that you can see where your money is going and how decisions are made. On roads and infrastructure, Helena is continuing to grow, and our infrastructure must keep pace. I will advocate for improvements to our roads and intersections, work closely with county, state, and private partners to make travel safer and smoother for everyone. This is a significant pain point. I want you to spend less time in the car traveling in our city so you can spend more time with your family and doing what matters most to you. On public safety, our police and fire departments are the backbone of a safe community, and I'll support them with the manpower, training, and equipment they need, ensuring their budgets grow as our city grows. I'll also champion our ongoing efforts to secure grants that stretch our tax dollars further. My father was a firefighter. I am honored to receive the endorsement of your Helena Firefighters Association. On Parks and Recreation, I want Helena kids to have the opportunity to play their sports right here at home, not travel to other cities unless they want to. That means improving our current fields, communicating better with families, and exploring options for additional facilities so we can meet the needs of our youth, leagues, and travel teams. In closing, Helena isn't just where I live, it's my home. I have the experience of navigating complex systems, the integrity to manage resources wisely, and the dedication to serve each of you with transparency and consistency. Together, we can build a city government that listens, responds, and delivers. Kathy is running City Council, Place 1. Thank you. My professional and personal experiences have prepared me to serve Helena with that same unwavering determination. I am committed to representing every voice in our community, especially those who we feel unheard. People often ask me, why now? For me, it's all about timing. Until now, my seasons of life, raising a family, building my career, managing health challenges, and respecting the work of others in leadership meant the timing was right. Today, Helena City Government is in a season of renewal. I believe that it is the perfect time for me to step forward and serve you. A seat on the City Council is more than a title. It's an opportunity to hear directly from you, to advocate for your priorities, and to help shape the future you envision for Helena. While my name may be on the template nameplates for Place 1, I want you to know it's your seat. My role will be to listen to you, work for you, and ensure that your ideas help guide the path we take as a city. On August 26th, I would be honored to earn your vote for Helena City Council Place 1.
We will now move on to Ms. Gardner, who will give her 2-minute closing statement.
Well, I'm not here because I'm a politician, because I'm not. I'm not here because I have a personal agenda. I'm here because I care about the community. I care about the Helena residents. And I care that you have an inclusive environment. Just want to tell you a little story about myself that I learned back when I was about 15 years old. So I love sports and I played volleyball. But one game we were losing really bad at the game. And I was sitting on the bench and the coach asked me, who can I put in? So I looked down the line and I said, well, Amy could go in. Taylor could go in. Of course, we lost that game that day. But after the game, my coach came to me and she said, I'm disappointed. I said, yeah, we lost the game, I'm sorry. But she said, I'm disappointed in you because when I asked who can I put in, I did not say my name. So that was a very important lesson that I learned. So from that day forward, I would never say, I'm not the one that can't fill in that gap, because I do want to fill in that gap. I do promise 4 things as your next councilwoman. Count the issues and concerns and react. Walk, show up for the residents by any means necessary. Ask what I can do for the residents. And lastly, love the community. I ask on August 26th that you vote Domingo Gardner for Helena Place 1. Thank you.
Good evening, Helena. I'd like to thank you all for coming out. I'd like to thank you for some of your time. I see a lot of hungry faces in the audience today. People who maybe never voted in this town before. Many people have been waiting some time to vote in an election just like this one. And 8 years ago, I was there with you. This town is my whole world. Hospital to Helena, that was me. I come up here, I intend to spend the rest of my life here. I would be here when half of you were gray-headed and moved away. Let me tell you something. This is a place and a people like no other. I've been all over this country, and I love it here. The greatest memories of my life all happened in about 40 minutes where we are right now. To me, this town is Chef K's out to find a go, and it's the graffiti up under the bridge across the Old Town Amphitheater, and it's that drive into Pelham where you can say, hey, this is where they shot Marble Hornets. I didn't ever want to change. The change is coming. We can see it every day now. This time next year, there will be no Department of Education, and this time next year, there will be no PDS. After that, we can say. What we can say is that those of us here in Helena are going to have to come together and rely on each other in a way we haven't done before. Not just to do business, but to take care of each other on a community level, in work, education, elsewhere. And for that, I've got 2 principles I'll go to the mat for. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 30 years from now. And those principles are more sidewalks, no ice. More sidewalks, what does that mean? It means a commitment to revitalize and maintain Helena's infrastructure with sidewalks, bike paths, senior and disability access, if necessary, even public transit. It means infill development that will bring groceries and pharmacies closer to you. It means revitalizing city services we used to have and should still have. Anyone who's lived here long enough, they'll tell you about the brush and debris removal service this city used to have, which was chopped up and parted out. It means reducing dependency on cars, building a town where our kids can walk to and from school and do it safely, so that in 25 years they'll be able to say that they put down roots in Helena, and they grew up and they love here too. A town you can put down roots is a beautiful thing, but something's coming to pull these roots up. What does it mean when I say no ice? Well, if you look at the news from Birmingham, Auburn, Mobile, the Immigrations and Customs Enforcement Department has been absolutely savage in those places. They have destroyed multiple restaurants, just like El Tejano and El Patron. They destroyed a construction site in Mobile, just like the one that we have for our town hall. They've arrested hundreds of American citizens, legal American citizens, who are supposed to be here. So the commitment I make is this: to urge us all to keep our homes safe on our own terms. I'm James Carroll. I'm from Place 2. I hope for your support in the coming election. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Carroll. We'll hear your closing statements here in just a few minutes. But now we'll move on to Andy Healy and his opening statement.
Good evening, thank you all for being here tonight. My name is Andy Healy, and I'm currently on the council, and I'm running for election in Place 2. When my family and I moved to Helena in 2010, one of the first things I noticed is how often people waved at each other, even if they didn't know them yet. Coming from a place where that wasn't a common occurrence, it immediately told me something about this city. Helena isn't just where people live, it's where people belong. That sense of belonging inspired me to get involved right away. Over the past 15 years, I've served as president of the Helena Business Association, working with a great team to create events such as our First Fridays that unfortunately have gone, and 4th of July celebrations. Events that bring neighbors together, support our local businesses, and keep Helena's community spirit alive. I've also served as an ambassador with the Shelby County Chamber of Commerce. It was a pleasure. I got to work with Kirk and others in the community for a few years, helping connect our local businesses with resources and partnership they need to thrive. In January of this year, I was honored to be appointed to the Helena City Council. Since then, I've had the privilege of serving our community from inside the City Hall, listening to residents, asking tough questions, and working with my fellow council members to make decisions that balance growth with the needs of our citizens. That experience has only strengthened my commitment to being the voice of the people of Helena. If elected, my priorities will be clear. Reasonable growth, making sure new development enhances our community while keeping pace with infrastructure, schools, and public services. Public safety and infrastructure, ensuring our police, fire, and public works team have the resources they need to protect and serve. And also, one of the things that I've done the most of since I've been appointed is openness, and I have posted as much information as I can for the citizens of this community. I want to keep the city government open. I want approachable and accountable to the residents it serves. I believe that if we do not share what we have and what we're trying to do, we are in a position now where we are still lost. A lot of residents reach out to me and ask me questions because they know I'll give them an answer. It may not be the best answer, but it will be an answer that I had at that time. I'm not running for a title. You heard Mr. Dominguez say that as well. I'm running to continue representing the people of Helena, to protect what we love about our hometown, and to guide its growth with care and common sense. I want to thank y'all again for coming out. I'm Andy Healy, and I'll be honored to earn your trust, your support, and your vote for Helena City Council Place 2. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Healy. Now we'll move on to our closing statements, which again were determined by a drawing before both candidates came to the microphone, and that order will start with Andy Healy.
Surprise, I'm here. Helena's future is bright, and the choices we make today will shape our city for decades to come. Together, we can protect the small town heritage we love, support smart growth, and make sure our streets, schools, and neighborhoods are safe and thriving for every resident. I'm ready to get to work, not for politics, but for people. We have to remember that the city council works for you. You don't work for us. And that is something that as your representative, I will endorse. I'm committed to listening, leading, and making decisions. And let's move at first, but I can't do it alone. Your voice matters, your input, and your vote matters. Let's move forward together. Let's build a Helena that we can all be proud of. A city where families grow, businesses thrive, and our community spirit stays strong. And I'm Andy Gilly, and I'll be honored again to serve on the city council of the great city of Helena. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Healy. Now we will move on to James Carroll with his closing statement.
Well, once again, I'm James Carroll, running for Place 2. More sidewalks, no ice. Simple as that. Take care, everyone.
We will begin our opening statements with Helena.
Good evening, Helena. I am Alice Lavelle, and I'm seeking re-election, Place 3 on the Helena City Council. I have lived in the Helena area since the 1980s, so I've seen many changes to this place, and I've worn many hats since I've lived here. I've been a member of the Christmas Parade Committee for longer than I can remember. I've served as their council person since 2016. I'm a leadership Shelby County graduate, and have been on their alumni board for the last 6 years. I'm a youth leadership Shelby County mentor, and probably most importantly, I'm a lifelong educator. Probably one of the most important jobs I had as an educator was being the first art teacher at Helena Elementary School. I knew a lot of your kids, I know a lot of you that I had in my class. But that's where I earned the nickname Miss Alice, and that has stuck. That's what everybody calls me. When I was first elected, I stated that I wanted to be a voice for two groups that I felt like had been overlooked, maybe neglected. And that was our senior citizens and our teenagers. I'm proud to say we've made progress with both. For our teens, we've grown the Helena Teen Council. It is thriving. They attend all city council meetings. They go to city events. They create events for different age groups, including their peers. And I want to just take a second. A lot of them are in the audience today, so I'm very proud to have them here with us. I'm now researching and working on creating a third space for our teens. This is a place where they can gather away from home or in school, where they can just interact with their peers, but in a safe environment. This is something the teens tell me that they really want and that they really need. So I hope to continue on with that. For our senior citizens, our new senior citizen center is in the back wing of the new city hall. It's 3,400 square feet of dedicated space just for our senior citizens. And I'm proud to say that this area has been built at about a third of the cost it would cost us to build a freestanding building. But they have their own entrance, their own parking area, so it is their own space. I'm a very strong advocate for our police and fire. I think that having a strong police and fire department is probably one of the best insurance policies that the city can have. You hope you never have to use them, but you're so glad they're there when you do. Just this week, I was able to witness 6 of our first responders receiving recognition for saving a woman's life. And it touched me because the person handing me their award was the woman that they saved. That's the kind of holding that I want us to feel. Sorry, I got emotional. Recently, I received endorsement from the local firefighters union, a huge honor and a reminder of the trust that they have bestowed in me. I love the city. I make decisions on the best information I have, and I try to do what's best for Helena's future, for our kids, our seniors, and our families. On August 26th, I humbly ask for your support and your vote so I can continue serving you with integrity, energy, and commitment.
Thank you, Ms. LaBelle. We now invite Dennis Wilson to the microphone for his opening statement.
Thank you everybody for coming out. I'm going to be honest with you, I never imagined I'd be standing here tonight asking for your vote. But I also didn't imagine our city would be in the challenging position that we find ourselves today. I've called this place home for almost 25 years now. I've seen our city grow, change, and accomplish great things. But somewhere along the way, our leadership either lost its way or chose a path we didn't ask for. On August 26th, you and I have a choice. We can continue down the same road, or we can correct our course. If you elect me as your city council member for place 3, I promise you this. I will bring the experience, courage, and vision to make the tough calls. I will fight for solutions that work for everyone, not just a select few. And I will restore something this administration has neglected: your voice. It's time for leaders who listen, not leaders who silence you. It's time for transparency and not secrecy, where you don't have to beg for answers about your own city. It's time for a mayor and a council that serves all of Helena, not just the people in their circle. This election isn't just about politics, it's about trust, it's about accountability, and it's about the kind of city we want to leave for our children. On August 26th, I'm asking you to stand with me. Let's bring back a city government that works for you. Let's restore integrity, transparency, and respect in all of Helena. Let's make sure your voice is heard, loud and clear, every single day. My name is Dennis Wilson, and I want to work for you. Thank you, and I hope I can earn your vote.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. I promise we didn't plan it this way, but we will also remain on here again. So we will go with your 2-minute closing statement when you're ready.
And it won't be 2 minutes. And I'm glad to see everybody. It's been a while. As mentioned before, I've been here for almost 25 years. I'm a 34-year professional in the water works industry. It's all I do. I've used that experience to serve Helena as a member of the utility board. Many of you know what the utility board has accomplished, but also what we have prevented. Having the discernment and willingness to say no to ideas that don't align with what's best for our city is something that is needed on our city council. And if you vote for me on August 26th, I'm going to bring that to you, for you, to this city. I hope you'll give me the opportunity to do so. And I once again respectfully ask for your vote on August 26th, City Council, Place 3. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. And now we'll go to Ms. LaBelle for her 2-minute closing statement.
You want to say this out now? That's how you know. wonderful seeing so many people here. This is awesome. Thank you for coming out to hear us. During my terms in office, we made strides in our city and with our citizens, but we're not done. I plan to move forward with the third space that I mentioned, the project for the teens, and I feel like that's something very important. I can't wait to see our senior citizens group grow and thrive, and I will always keep public safety at the top of my priority list. At the League of Municipalities convention this year, I heard a quote that stuck with me. Change is inevitable, growth is optional. I'm going to say that again. Change is inevitable, growth is optional. Helena is changing. I want to ensure growth. Growth with new families, new business, new opportunities, plus making things as great as possible for the people who call Helena home. And yes, we may have a few growing pains, but growth without a plan can cause lots of problems. I want to be a part of that growth so it works for us, not against us. Like I said before, I serve this city because I love this city. I will always vote for what benefits Helena, not just for today, but for years to come. I humbly ask for your vote on August 26th so I can continue to serve you, and I promise you I will do it to the very best of my ability. Thank you.
Good evening, Helena. My name is Brooke Dodson, and I'm a candidate for place 4 on the City Council. Thank you so much for taking time out of your evening to be here and to be engaged with the future of your city. My wife and I have lived here since 1999. We've raised 2 daughters here. For many of you, over the years, I've met you at school events, probably out on the Hillsborough Trail, or even at the middle school where my wife has worked since the day it opened. This city isn't just an address for us. This is our home, community, and where we've built our lives. I've always had an interest in public service and civic engagement. I majored in history at Birmingham Southern College with a focus on U.S. history and also political science with courses in metropolitan government and public policy. That gave me not only a deep appreciation for how our government works, but also a conviction that it works best when the citizens are informed and involved. And that's one of the big reasons I'm running for this seat. In recent years, I've seen some of our lines of communication between our city council and our citizens narrow, and in some cases closed down altogether. Decisions get made without enough information getting out ahead of time, and I believe we can do much better than that. First, if elected, I'll work on those open lines of communication in 4 key ways. First, we need more time for citizens to prepare for important votes. Right now, the City Council agendas are posted on Friday for the Monday evening meeting. That's not enough time for residents to read, research, and respond to the decisions coming up. I'll push to post those earlier. Second, we need complete information up front. If there's a major agenda item, whether it's a new ordinance, a zoning change, or a budget decision, I want the supporting documents posted online with details, with the agenda. Things like the site plans, traffic studies, budget details, or the language of the new ordinance, so you don't have to guess what's being voted on. Third, we need expanded public comment on those important issues. Residents should be able to share their support for, their concerns against, or ask questions before the vote, not after. Fourth, we need financial transparency. I'd like to see monthly or quarterly budget updates shared and made public on the city website. And I'll push for something like the Open Checkbook app, which gives citizens real-time visibility of how their tax dollars are being spent. I've had the privilege of serving on the Helena Planning and Zoning Commission for the last 3 years, and my background in commercial real estate, those combined have given me a clear picture of how growth impacts our city infrastructure. Helena's population has more than doubled since I moved here. Growth can be a good thing if it's managed and planned wisely. I want to make sure new development strengthens our community without overwhelming our schools, roads, and city services. I won't shy away from hard conversations, whether it's supporting our first responders, investing in infrastructure, or improving parks and recreation. My guiding principle will always be every decision should reflect the will of the people, made in the open with accountability and transparency. I'm Brooke Dodson.
Good evening. Good evening, friends and neighbors. My name is John Mayoral, and I'm honored to be here tonight as a candidate for Helena City Council, Place 4. First, let me begin by thanking the Shelby County Chamber of Commerce and the Shelby County Board for hosting us today tonight. And of course, thank you for taking the time out of your evening to be with us tonight. I've called Helena home for many years, and I spent 28 and a half years working here right here in Helena. I served as an employee and I retired last year. That experience has given me a front row seats to Helena's growth and its challenges and its potential. I know where we've done well, and I know where we've fallen short in meeting our citizens' needs. During my tenure, like your I feel pain. I feel pain. But I've also congressman. I've written and received over $3 million in grants. I've lowered our ISO rating twice, bringing $100 in savings to use homeowners insurance. Brought the fire department standards up. Built some city buildings, as well as several other things. And got a fairly good educational municipal government throughout the play. Like many of you, my family chose Helena to live and raise our children. We chose Helena for strong neighborhoods, great schools, and a sense of belonging. But our growth, both in Shelby and Jefferson County, comes at a reasonable cost. We've had 1,000 residents bring the opportunity, but also challenges we must address. If elected, I will work for smart, responsible growth that protects the small town feel and the charm that we all love, while ensuring our infrastructure, schools, and public safety keep pace. I believe in transparent communication, something we currently lack. Responsible budgeting and listening to the residents, not just during campaign season, but for my first day in office. Decisions from our mayor and council need to be citizen-focused. We must be good stewards of your tax dollars and manage the city's debt to ensure our stability going forward. I support live streaming all city meetings and archiving those public meetings for later viewing and posting quarterly financial reports online so that you can view and see how your money is spent. We must continue working with our county, local municipalities, and state government to address our congestion needs, especially on county-controlled roads. At the same time, we need to assess our city's planning and zoning master plan to manage density and a clear vision set for Helena's future.
Mr. Ronald, we reached the end of your allotted 3 minutes there, but shocking, you were up first for your closing statement.
Oh, okay.
We can shift into that now.
Thank you very much. My campaign is not about politics, it's about people. It's about listening, collaborating, and doing what's right for Helena, even when it's not easy. I may not have all the answers, but I will always show up, listen, and fight for what's best for our city. Your voice matters, and I want to be your voice in City Hall. We can't forget Helena is unique. We're in 2 counties with 2 school systems. Every child in Helena, whether they attend Shelby or Jefferson County schools, deserves our full support. Brothers should unite us, not divide us. We've seen record growth, congestion, and infrastructure, and we know it strains. Some challenges, like county roads, require stronger partnerships. Others, like city planning and zoning, are in our control, and we must act with foresight. Together we can ensure Helena remains a city we're proud to call home for generations to come. Thank you. God bless you. And God bless the city of Helena.
Thank you, Mr. Wild. We're now going to Mr. Dodson for his 2-minute closing statement.
Thank you. Well, here again, this time I don't have everything to read in front of me, but I just want to give you all a little more background on why I stand for what I stand for. Like I said, I studied history at Birmingham Southern College. And that gave me a deep appreciation for the principles of our representative republic and everything that our founding fathers put into place, the framers of our Constitution put into place. A republic works best when the public is engaged, and over the past few years, I've seen much of that taken away here in our own city of Helena, the city of neighbors and friends. And I'll try to speak out at times, and I've contacted elected officials at times. Sometimes I get answers from them, sometimes I don't. But I'm like y'all. For the past 26 years, I've been sitting on the other side of it. I know what our interests are as citizens, and I want to fight for it from the council as a representative. This is a great place to live, and I want it to continue to be a great place to live. We've got some challenges ahead of us, but I feel like we're going to be able to work through those challenges and make the future for Helena bright. Ask for your vote on August 26th. Brooke Dodson is place 4. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Shelby County Chamber of Commerce and Shelby County Reporter.
Good evening. Why me? As a military veteran, Christian, 3-time college graduate, which includes a Juris Doctorate, father, and husband, I have very similar views of where our city is, as many of you do. When my wife and I purchased our home more than 20 years ago, we wanted great schools, neighbors who cared about their homes, and a municipal government that planned accordingly to the needs of its citizens. We have great schools, neighbors who care about their homes, and quite a bit of what we enjoy now can be attributed to Mayor Penhill and the city councilors whom he worked with over his 42 years in office. Now, 13 years after his departure, we have 22,000 citizens across 80 or so subdivisions and neighborhoods who are demanding that our government is more transparent, fiscally responsible, support small businesses, and addresses the needs and progress of this city, particularly around traffic congestion. Citizens, we hear you. But your demands require a strong city council, the legislative branch of the government. Why? The city council has the authority over the finances and property of the municipality. The council establishes policies, passes ordinances, sets tax levels, determines what sorts of services the municipality will offer. For example, some of you have asked for variations of audits on social media and other places. Did you know that the city council can order additional auditors if it's choice or it disagrees with the findings presented by the auditors selected by the mayor? As I connect with voters, there are 4 more good things in our city, but here are a few examples of how we can improve. As we take our city-led investments, require the contractors and consultants to buy local, and Alabama law allows for such. Stop allowing volume builders to tell us that their deals, their plans are the best. The best for who? When citizens like Mrs. Hines, Daniel Barron, Pastor Kersey, citizens west of the river, and many more ask us to help them, we should, because we are elected to represent the people. My name is Jeff McDaniels, and I'm asking for your vote on August 26th. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McDaniel. We'll now hear from Alex Miller in his opening statement. Good evening. I'm a lifelong resident of Helena, and I see a lot of familiar faces in the crowd tonight. That's a great thing. I love that. Let me start off. I was a graduate from Helena High School in 2018. I wrestled here. After high school, I went to college at Coker University. I was a member of the wrestling team there. I majored in history, like Brooke, studied political science, and was an ambassador for the college. So everywhere I go, I try to be pretty involved and help out wherever I'm at. I'm a volunteer wrestling coach here at the high school now in my free time. My professional career is I manage and run our
So I work closely with Shelby County's Highway Department, their Water Board, Jefferson County Sewer, and their Environmental Services. It's no problem for me to work with other municipalities. I'm familiar with it, writing contracts and fulfilling their needs, and asking for help from them as well. Being familiar with civil infrastructure, being the most recent appointed member of the Planning and Zoning Committee, I'm committed to the responsible growth of our city, to help it develop in the way it needs to serve our community best. I believe that money should have been spent over this past council on infrastructure upgrades such as turn lanes, road widening, things like that are underneath our feet that really affect your day-to-day life as citizens. I want to form a board of grant writers. This board would consist of volunteers that are professionals that are heavily vetted and go through an interview process similar to the one in place 2, where I applied for that vacancy when Chris Van Cleve resigned. This board of volunteers would be a huge asset to our city, and I have a couple grants in mind to go after. One of them is from the Alabama Department of Transportation. This grant would allow money to fix access to our industrial park entrances. Now, this would help our Vulcan Industrial Park in Old Town and make it more appealing to businesses. Helena's a hard place to operate a business out of. It's not very appealing. There's not good interstate access. There's trains. There's a whole lot of obstacles. So whatever we can do to get money paid for from the state or anything to attract business into our city is a huge advantage. Another grant is from the National Parks and Service, the Parks and Rec Department, and this grant would help fund youth athletic expenses. The National Park Service partnered up with MLS, so this would be a springtime grant that would help soccer and stuff like that. And also, lastly, the work session and council meetings. These need to be moved back. They need to be, the work session needs to be at 6 p.m. It's hard if you have a job. You can't get there at 5 for that. Council meeting needs to be at 7. These things need to be easily accessible, posted early, and they need to be video and audio archived. I was pleased to see the last one was on live stream, but the work session really needs to have video and audio from it, so you can go back and hold your lawmakers accountable. Look back and see what decisions were, why they were made. The work session is important to have that because you understand what the ordinance is, what the law was. So that's a big advantage for citizens to be informed. Vote for me, Alex Miller, August 26th for City Council, Place 5. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. We'll now go to Michael Rogers for his opening statement.
How are y'all doing? I should be your favorite. I'm on the last. My name is Michael Rogers. I'm running for Place 5, City Council. Got a little bit of history of volunteering. I'm a volunteer chaplain for any fire department that needs me. I had 45 years active duty in the fire department, and I'm one of the largest ambulance surgeons in the Southeast. A lot of organizations go in that. But here, and what made me want to run is the confusion and the lack of transparency that we have now. Everywhere I go, I'm asked, what are you going to do when you get in office? I believe you'll have that backwards. You're hiring me. You tell me what to do. You're my boss. That's how it works. But to some degree, we've got too big for our britches. There are other cities the same size as we are, in the exact same square mile, in the exact same population. They have much bigger budgets than we do. Oxford, Alabama, $85 million budget. That's a lot when we only have a $13 million budget. But there's a big difference. They have interstates and highways going through their big town, or little town. Same way with Albertville. Interstates, highways, big industries. They have lots of money coming in. They have a big budget. Helena's not that way. And I don't think I'm going to see a big interstate come through Helena in my lifetime or your lifetime. So we need to budget within our means. We've got too big for our britches. It's going to hurt people's feelings when I tell them, you can't do that because we can't afford it. We're building buildings that we don't need. And we're taking projects that we do need and setting them aside. We need to be more open about that and use our mind. I want to bring common sense back to the government. I know it's been gone for a long, long time. So let's do that. See it grow a little bit better. Growth is inevitable, but if we do not control growth, it will control us, and we won't like it. I'm Michael Rogers, and I humbly ask for your vote on August 26th.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. And if you're placing waivers out there, we finally have a different order. It will not be the most recent to go first in your closing statements this time. But we will move on to our closing statements for place 5 at random drawn once again. And we will start with Jeff McDaniels.
First, I would like to say again, thanks to each of you for being here this evening. I think my parents are in the audience. I thank them. My wife and I, probably my daughter, recruited them to move here from Ellisville, Mississippi, and they've been very supportive of me wanting to engage, so I want to recognize them. I'm sure they're here. I've heard some things that my colleagues have said, but let's imagine what we can do. I think our strategy up until this point has essentially been to annex to stop Hoover. That strategy needs to be correlated with a plan. We do have assets by state law that we can utilize that we're not utilizing at this time. If your imagination allows you to, you can think about the city of Helena actually owning a golf course. Whether that makes sense or not, it is something that is allowed by state law. So versus saying what we don't have, how do we utilize what we have? 2 assets, Holland River in conjunction with Buck Creek. We can better utilize that as if we were in Fairhope or some other places across the state, up and down Highway 280. But we have to use the relationships and the other forms of government in place to make Holland River work for us here in Helena. Youth sports. Tons of you are either grandparents or parents of children who spend time on one of our most precious infrastructural resources, parks. Of course, Parks and Rec needs more money, but we have to find a way to possibly restructure how it is governed. It has nothing to do with the employees, but giving it the authority to issue bonds and to have some form of dedicated revenue to support strengthening our Parks and Rec. We have some really great opportunities. Thinking the people in the office who have to do. My name is Jeff McDaniels. I'm asking for your vote on August 26th. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McDaniels. We'll now go to Michael Rogers for his 2-minute closing statement.
It's me. 2 minutes, not much time. Let's just say, let's redo some things on how we spend our money. We're spending money thinking that we're going to get all this stuff back. Like this big town hall, we're going to have these stores that we can rent out and make money to pay for that. We have stores right now that are sitting vacant that we can't rent out. We're not paying for. Let's rethink this. As I walk through and talk to the businesses, they want better traffic control in Old Town. They want, other things that are easy to fix. But the thing is, we don't have the money for it because we're too busy spending money for something we don't need. We need to fix that. We need to get our head on straight and act right. I'm Michael Rogers. Thank you.
Just about done with the council stuff, I swear. Thank you all for coming out tonight. This kind of reminds me of when I applied for the vacancy of place 2, kind of a similar process. I encourage you all to vote often and vote early. Your municipal government and local government affects your day-to-day life more than the federal government. Decisions made in town hall and have put their time and needs in front of their own personal wants. Look for candidates that have always been active in our city, not just because it's an election. They've always been out and always been active, supporting businesses, supporting each other. Remember, I'm not trying to make Helena, Pelham, or Alabaster, or Hoover. That's not who we are. You didn't move to Helena for those reasons. Vote for me, Alex Miller, volunteer wrestling coach, state champion for Helena. An employee for a successful utility company, graduate from Helena High School, a member of the Planning and Zoning Committee. Vote for me, August 26th. I appreciate this time. Have a good night.
Let me explain our format for this portion of our program. Gotta keep in mind. Each candidate will be asked the same questions and given 2 minutes each to respond. The sequence for answering the questions will rotate alphabetically. None of the candidates have been provided with the questions prior to tonight's events. The candidates will continue to respond to these questions in this alphabetical sequence, with each candidate alternating responding to the question first. The rotation sequence will continue in this fashion through the end of the question-answer portion and the mayoral portion of tonight's forum, so that each candidate answers first an equal number of times. In the interest of time, there will be no opening statements. There will, however, be the opportunity for each candidate to provide a closing statement, and those closing statements will be no longer than 3 minutes. Kirk Manser with the Shelby County Chamber will continue to serve as our timekeeper and provide each candidate with a countdown during their answering comments by holding up a card indicating the time remaining. We will begin with question 1, and we will start with George Pickle. So our first question tonight: if elected, what are your plans for transparency with the public to ensure open government and trust of the public?
The city already has things in place to put out more information to the individuals, the city, the people in our community have an opportunity to see. Instead of posting things in 3 local places as required by law. These things need to be advertised on the city website, which needs to be more advanced to allow easy access. Right now, it's pain in the rear view, if we want to put it that way, to review. We've got to give more time. I think it was brought up with some of the council members. We've got to put that out a little quicker and give people time to respond to those applications. And we have to have that communication, because without that communication, it gives distrust, concern, and we have a lot of people that think the city's hiding stuff. So I get voted in for mayor. My plan is to make sure that these things are posted for a long period of time, not just meet the minimum requirements, and put them out there where everybody needs to see them, and that includes maybe notifying homeowner associations that can put the stuff out to individuals. That includes the city webpage and having it being posted in a timely manner so that you have time to review. And that includes posting it, it may be posted in more than 3 places. But we need to not only post stuff, but we need to make sure that we put that stuff, we need to make sure that it has information in it, not just put an ordinance number or code. It needs to have the paperwork in it to say, yes, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to talk about, this is how long. It has all of the information in there so that the citizens have an opportunity to ask good questions.
Thank you, Mr. Pickle. We will now invite Russ Powers to the microphone for the same question. If elected, what are your plans for transparency with the public to ensure open government and trust of the public?
First and foremost, transparency should be hard. We should have should have a clear financial statement. This will lead to CPA to determine what we're trying to read. We need to make sure that we allocate money correctly, make sure that we have timely in our agendas for our city council. I prefer that we have, especially a lot of our city councils that are working 9 to 5 jobs, that they have a time to do their homework to be able to reach those decisions for our cities. I would like them to have 2 weeks notice. I think 2 weeks for an agenda that we're trying to pass for the better of all the citizens of Helena. I feel like they have enough time that we will finish, they would have time to be able to make the right decision for every one of us. I would like to have quarterly town meetings for every one of y'all. I know sometimes when we do city council, I know Alex mentioned that you want to try to push up the time for people that are working, trying to come home, especially with our infrastructure in our cities. We know how our travel is in town and out of town. So I'd like to try to clean up those things. So if we have some quarterly town meetings, maybe on a Saturday or something like that, maybe we can bring y'all in to be able to ask some of the questions and concerns y'all have for the city. I want to have a clean a website so that we can have some information about things that's going on, especially like events, especially our agendas and stuff like that. One thing I want to promise is that we will have transparency in our city. We'll have a good financial statement. We'll have a clear vision of Helena. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Powers. We'll now ask Billy Roester the same question. If elected, what are your plans for transparency with the public to ensure open government and trust of the public?
First of all, I'd like to thank you, Shelby County Reporter, Helena High School, and the Shelby County Chamber of Commerce for organizing this event tonight. And most of all, I'd like to thank all of you for coming out. There's no doubt that our city is at a turning point, otherwise we wouldn't have this turnout. And a lot of that, the issues that we're facing, comes right down to transparency. That's what we've been talking about for 18 months to 2 years. I can promise you and commit to you that as mayor, I will set the example for transparency. And I believe over the last 11 months that I've been campaigning, I've done just that. From day one, my phone number was accessible to anyone who looked at any of my posts. I've welcomed your calls, and I will continue to set that example. I won't get into what we can do with council meetings, because number one, the mayor can't control council meetings. But I am confident and pleased to see that several candidates did say that they wanted more transparency with the meetings, better agendas, and live streaming. I can guarantee you that day-to-day communication will improve. There's nothing more frustrating than trying to call the city because you have a concern and you don't get a return call. You know what? They may not have the answer, we may not have the answer, but you deserve a response to know that we are taking into account what you're asking us. The city magazine, that's been a bone of contention. I do believe that we can reduce the cost and increase the value of that magazine. A certain portion of that magazine needs to be dedicated to giving you insight into what's going on, what events are coming, what is council facing, where are our projects right now, what is the city needing. And finally, I know we're tight, and I know I can't spend a lot of money. We're going to be trying to save money, but I will tell you that I think it's important that we hire a communications director to take advantage of social media. Make sure you're aware of things, that you don't have to go out and look for it. Revamp our website. When news breaks, give the city's perspective honestly and open and transparent. Thank you.
We'll now move to question 2, and we'll start with Mr. Powers on this one. And question 2 is, what, in your opinion, are the priorities and responsibilities of Helena's mayor?
That's a good question. Well, as a mayor, first and foremost, the reason I decided to run is my love of my community. I have a family here. I raised my kids here. When me and my wife were looking, when we first got married, me and my wife were looking for a great place. Just like many of y'all, fell in love with Hillsborough. And so, well, let's find Hillsborough. We saw the sidewalks the first time we went in Hillsborough. There was kids running across the streets and all that kind of stuff. So we realized that, Helena was the place that we want to raise our with the current administration. I felt like there was something I could do. I know a lot of y'all are aware, I've owned my own business for 14 years. I had a business previously from 08. I know a lot of y'all probably, with a lot of other people was impacted by 08. So some of the attributes I learned was have my own business was, setting standards and accountability and policies. The same kind of attributes I'm going to bring as a mayor. We're going to set standards, we're going to set accountability, we're going to set policies, we're going to set a mission statement for the city, and we're going to make sure that we do that every single day. We're going to set standards for new transparency, new accountability, and as a mayor, I will work with the city council to make sure that we do everything we can do the best to keep y'all more informed about what's going on a day-to-day basis. Hopefully, that once we get these standards built back up, get our money headed in the right direction, we can have a smart growth here in Helena. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Powers. We'll now go to Mr. Rosner for the same question. What, in your opinion, are the priorities and responsibilities of Helena's mayor?
Well, let's talk about responsibilities first. I will tell you that my number one responsibility is to you, the people. Is to serve you, the people. And not to serve myself. Oftentimes politicians get that confused. I can commit to you that I will not. Now let's talk about the day-to-day operations and what the responsibilities are. Number one, to run day-to-day operations with the department heads and our great city employees, to ensure that they have the resources and the tools they need in place to successfully provide the city services that you deserve. Number two, to provide a clear financial picture of where our city finances are, not only to the council, but to you, the community. It needs to be in a manner that's understandable by anyone, not someone with a finance degree or a CPA. Number three is to advocate for your voice. I want to be your voice. You have an issue, you call me. I'll get in touch with council and let them know that that's something we can talk about, that we need to put an emphasis on. Now, you asked about priorities. Those to me are different than issues. There's no way with my remaining time to tell you what issue we're going to deal with. But I can tell you, with, again, going back to my priority, I was sitting where you were 11 months ago, frustrated that I didn't have any answers, that my voice wasn't being heard, that I couldn't get a clear financial picture of the projects that were coming. But I make it a point that my number one priority will be to listen to you, to make sure that your voice is heard, you understand where the city is going, you understand what our goals are, and that your vision is understood. Thank you.
We'll now welcome back Mr. Pickle, who will answer the same question. What, in your opinion, are the priorities and responsibilities of Helena's mayor?
Well, major would be behind the building, but the main responsibility is y'all. It's the city, it's how it functions, and how we represent you in every way. It's bringing our workforce and training them to do the job that they need to do and efficiently to save money for the taxpayers' money to move forward. We have to train, watch our budget, control the funding, the money, get our people out here to support and do the things that you expect us to do on a daily basis. I'm a doer. I was there for 30 years, with 2 different mayors. I've been to the homeowner associations. Communication was a big asset at that point. We would be able to sit down and meet with the homeowners at their association meetings and discuss what needed to be paid, what needed to be done, where the problems were. We've got to open our ears and open our eyes and take care of all of our citizens throughout this next term. I've been there, I've done it. If we don't get back to the old, people call the old school, they say they don't want to back me because I'm talking old school. Old school is paying attention, listening, and doing. It's not about what happened and how we do it in the old way. It's still, that never changes. Look, listen, and feel the pain for the people and take care of them. Thank you.
We will now go on to our third question of the night. We'll start with Willie Rosner. That question is, if you are elected, what specific skills or strengths do you possess which you believe will benefit the city of Helena?
Well, first I'll note that you guys probably noticed that my face is a little red. So public speaking was never my thing. I'll be honest with you, before I ran for mayor, one of the obstacles that I had to get over was I almost didn't run because I did not want to give the commencement at the high school graduation. That was almost a determining factor. But three skill sets that I bring to this community and I'll bring to the mayor's office are financial background. The three skills that I'll bring to this community are my financial background, a service-focused leader, and my service to this community and the results that we've shown. Number one, I've got 20 plus years of experience as a CPA. I've seen all kinds of businesses from a couple of $1 million to $90 billion value that I've looked at. Early in my career, I saw that opportunity to work for troubled businesses where you don't know what's going on. You got to go in blind, find the root cause, find the solution, work up an implementation plan, and put that into place with management. Number two, I bring the servant leadership. I read earlier this week that somebody said that they wanted a leader who was able to say, I was wrong, I am sorry, and I don't know, what do you think? I come with a humble attitude as a leader. I know I don't know it all, and I need to rely on those around me. And I can promise you that we've got great city employees with a lot of knowledge that have a lot to offer. And I want to give them the tools they need to be successful. Number three, service to this community. I don't believe there is a year that has gone by since 2003 that I haven't stepped up in some capacity. That may have been at the ballpark. It was putting on the homecoming during COVID at the community center that couldn't be held here at the school. And most recently, serving on hot board for the last 5 years. And I tell you what, when you get a good group of people together, there's nothing that you can't accomplish. We were able to deliver 55 new parking spots to Old Town Helena, had the gravel donated, and at a cost of less than $20,000 for the city. That's results. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Russell. We'll now go to Mr. Pickle for the third question. If you are elected, what specific skills or strengths do you possess which you will believe will benefit the city of Helena?
The main skill is the fact that I worked here for 30 years. I worked directly under two city mayors. I worked under Sonny Penhale for many years. I worked under Mark Hall. The other skills that I have, I already have contacts with state agencies and federal agencies as we've gone through road projects that were already scheduled to be done during my term and before I retired. Those projects still haven't been done. My plan is to get back in touch with the people that are holding the money, find out why we're not getting those projects done. But the primary thing is, y'all seen what Helena was. These guys are bragging about what Helena was and what it's done over the years. I was here. I was part of it, and I was one of the ones that helped make it happen. That's my skill. I've been there, done it, and I'm a doer. I know how to get it done. And I don't need 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Pickle. We will now go to Mr. Powers for the same question. If you are elected, what specific skills or strengths do you possess which you believe will benefit the city of Helena?
Well, first and foremost, I know I've mentioned a while ago that I run my own business. I'm not going to keep repeating that because I feel like that's just all I need. What some of my strength is I feel like that as a business owner, we learn a lot about budgets. We learn about growth, smart growth. We learn learn about accountability. We learn about trying to create leaders inside our company. One good thing about me is me running for mayor. Helena, I've created those leaders inside my company. So when I step off the side to lead y'all as the next mayor of Helena, my business will continue on. So whenever I leave, the leaders that I created, the accountability that I've set, and the standards that I created in my company will allow me to be able to move forward as mayor. And those same standards I'm going to bring to the city. We have a lot of great employees here in the city, a lot of great public safety. Our fire department had an opportunity to sit down with them and let them know that my support will never waver from them. We all don't want to pull anybody over. We sure as heck don't want to put anybody's fire out. So we need to rely on public safety. So it's my top priority thing is I feel like we got a great community. It starts with our citizens, most definitely. That's why I fell in love with this place a long time ago. It's because of this small town community. I grew up in a small town. Me and my wife both grew up in a small town. We wanted to find something that was similar to that. And so when we came here to Helena, we found all those attributes that we love. And that's why I decided to run for mayor, is to be able to take advantage of some of those situations I fell in love when I was a kid. So as your next mayor, I will work every day hard. I will be available. I will be there for whatever. You might catch me mowing grass with some of the guys, dragging fields over at the park and rec. I will be available to meet with anybody and do everything. So my top priority is to make sure that I work for you and make sure that I do everything that the city council is approving to do and make sure I maintain those things on a daily basis. They're going to seek me to meet with people, make sure that things get moved forward. They want to make sure that I do exactly what we need to do to make sure that we take care of all things. I sure appreciate y'all. I'm glad y'all came out tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Powers. We'll now go to question number 4, and the fourth question will start with Mr. Fickle. That question is, in your opinion, what are Helena's biggest economic strengths and weaknesses, and how do you as mayor plan to take full advantage of the strengths and overcome the weaknesses?
Strength is big. You're always trying to move this town forward, the city forward. Y'all are the ones that ask for what you need. It's our responsibility to provide. The weaknesses, I guess, is me as a speaker. Some of the other assets that we have is our Mayoral River, our Club Creek. The fact that we have those natural assets for the city and beautiful parks that we put in place over the years that I've helped build. There's so many, over the 30 years that we've been working for the city, there's so many different aspects to the city, and there's so many strengths it has. But we have to move forward, we have to grow, we have to protect ourselves from being overtaken by and surrounded and wanted by other cities. I've done a lot of accusations. I moved up to South States Crest. We've got to continue with some aggressive accusations to protect ourselves. But if we don't, they're going to lock us in. We're going to be locked into a hole. As we move forward, those are some of the assets that we've got to take care of. We've got to protect our people. We've got to bring in businesses. We're weak in that area. We've got empty buildings. And I've already been in contact with different people to try and bring them in and fill in those empty places. We've got to get those. We've got to provide all the necessary things for the citizens in our city so that they don't have to go outside the city and shop in other places. We need that tax base here. And as we get that tax base and continue to get it to grow, then we're going to have a better opportunity to provide the necessities and the needs of our citizens. I kind of went off some of the questions that were asked, but those are things I feel passionate about. And we have to move forward. That's one of our weaknesses.
Thank you, Mr. Fickle. Now, Mr. Powers, the same question. In your opinion, what are Helena's biggest economic strengths and weaknesses, and how do you as mayor plan to take full advantage of those strengths and overcome those weaknesses?
I'm going to echo what George said. Strength is in the people. The one thing that we have a lot that we're very, very proud about, especially, is our Hillsborough trails. Our sidewalks, our citizens. We have a great amphitheater area. We have a great sports complex. We have, like you said, we have that family-friendly Friday. That was anything. That was a great opportunity we had. Unfortunately, it sort of dissolved, but maybe we can bring it back with approval of the city council. I think we need to take advantage of citizen involvement. I think there's a lot of people out here that are subject matter experts that we can bring inside the city to help us with any kind of issue. If it's infrastructure to utilities, like what Alex said, that's his primary business. So that was somebody that we could bring in at a no cost or volunteer or a lower rate than typical. I think we have a lot of great citizens here that are involved in a lot of things. We have some controls here, some CPAs, some great administrative people. I feel like there's a lot of opportunities that we can seek that y'all be willing to help. So I feel like we just don't lean on y'all enough. We try to be 5 or 1 or whatever. I feel like there's so much things that y'all can do to bring to the table to make us even stronger than what we really are. But our weaknesses is simple. We don't have a clear vision of what Helena looks like. We all try to figure out what Old Town's supposed to be, and we're all been trying to figure that out for 20 years. Everybody's going with different structure. Like Mr. Billy said, that we were opportunity to have that extra park on the top that would help in with it, especially with the amphitheater and Old Town Lot. That's going to be a great opportunity for us because we get more people in there. Thank goodness for the depot that allows us to use their parking lot. Luckily we were relying on some of the business there in Helena to allow us to use their parking lot while we're there. Some of the weaknesses is that what is our clear vision? We need to figure out about our growth. We need to figure out how fast we want to grow, make sure that we have a clear vision on our growth. And then the last thing, we got to overgrow and growing too fast. Our infrastructure on the whole so much. Like Alex said, I will bring his name again, but we're talking about infrastructure. He's the one fully involved in that kind of stuff. He'll know exactly what we need to do to get some things accomplished. So I think if we'll slow down growth, and I'm running out of time, so I'm going to make this real quick because he's going to keep leaving out of the fixing and interrupting. But I think we need to control growth. But thank y'all. I'll get y'all on the next question.
Thank you, Mr. Powers. Same question to you, Mr. Roaster. In your opinion, what are Helena's biggest economic strengths and weaknesses, and how do you, as mayor, plan to take full advantage of those strengths and overcome the weaknesses?
Well, let's talk about our weaknesses first. I've lived here since '03, and since I've lived here, our growth can best be described as haphazard. There may have been a plan in place, but I don't know if it was followed, and I'm not sure real clear what that plan was. We can fix that, though. If I'm fortunate enough to be elected, I want to take an inventory of every piece of dirt in this community. Not because I want to develop it all, but I want to know what's available. And then I want to talk to y'all. What kind of businesses do you want? I want to talk to our business leaders. What kind of businesses complement the current businesses? And with that, we can develop a plan and be very intentional in our growth. Helena does have opportunities, though. It's all not negative. We've got the 52 corridor that's opening up right now. And there's a project called Blackridge Parkway that's starting just north of Riverside Church, and it's going to come out to the new exit 9 on 459. That area is going to be ripe for development, but it's key that we put the shopping and dining options that the community wants there. And an added benefit with Blackridge Parkway, we may be able to draw some dollars out of Hoover to come and shop and dine here rather than us giving our money to our neighbors consistently. Another opportunity is just a little further north on Shades Crest than 5, where it's been 5 lane. We've got opportunities for light commercial growth in the industry. These developments will not put as much of a strain on our infrastructure, but it will go directly towards helping with the revenue that we need to gain in order to pay this debt. We've got lots of options. It's getting the right people in the room. It's leaning into y'all and putting in and listening to what you want. I've already started talking with some of the developers to determine exactly what that's going to look like. So we do have a plan. We've got lots of opportunity. We've got a few things we've got to correct, but I'm confident in the future of what we do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Roseman. We'll now go to question 5 and start with Mr. Powers. That question is, tell us about a time when you witnessed or were part of a situation that tested your integrity. How did you respond, and what principles guided your actions? Tell us about a time when you witnessed or were part of a situation that tested your integrity. How did you respond, and what principles guided your actions?
I don't know if I've ever been in a situation that I felt I had to defend my honor or my integrity. 14 years I've just been putting my head down and raising my family. But I know what I would do if I was put in that situation. I would lean on my faith. Still good? Faith is sort of what got me here today. I know that's not really the question you asked, but since we're about the subject of faith, when I decided to run for mayor, first of all, you have to sit down with your family. And figure out what the responsibilities and duties you're going to do. So my integrity was, and my decision was made strictly through my faith. I would lean on him, just like I got him in the situation when I decided to run for mayor. I prayed about it. He opened a lot of doors. I tried to close a lot of doors. He'd opened up some more, and I just sort of sat down with my wife and I said, "Hey, what do you think about me running for mayor?" And so when I said to her, she said, "Well, shoot, you got a good job. You know, I mean, you take the kids to and from school. You get to go to all the sports and all that kind of stuff." So I said, the good Lord's telling me something different, you know. So I said, "Well, hey, you know, I'll just pray about it. And every time he'd tell me it was time for me to run, I would say no. Then I realized what a great community we are. We're great citizens. Kids were raised in Parker Red. I met a lot of my friends in Parker Red. This is a great community. I'm sorry I didn't answer the question exactly everybody wanted me to answer, but that's my story and I'm going to stick with it.
Thank you, Mr. Powers. And now, Mr. Roseman, the same question. Tell us about a time when you witnessed or were part of a situation that tested your integrity. How did you respond, and what principles guided your actions?
So if you serve in leadership long enough, your integrity gets challenged. And it may not be to bend the rules or to do something unethical, but it may be to move forward when the right decision affects other people's lives. So I had an opportunity to serve on a board, and initially the finances of that board were pretty bleak. Bank recs had not been done in a long time, and so in the first 6 months and digging in and reconciling the bank accounts, it became apparent that our treasurer had invested money. Now, this was a family that I knew, that I had socialized with for a couple of years, and we, of course, took that case to HP. It was a tough decision. The night before she was going to be taken in, I received a call from her husband, who was asking me to make it right. He would bring me all of the money that she had taken if I could make it go away. If it had been my money, I very likely would have said, "Come on by, bygones are bygones." But it wasn't my money. It was the organization's money. As tough as that decision was, I know I made the right decision. So that's what we're doing about integrity. You have to do what's right. You have, as hard as it is, you have to follow the right path. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Roseberry. Now I'm going to invite Mr. Pickle back for the same question. Tell us about a time when you witnessed or were part of a situation that tested your integrity. How did you respond, and what principles guided your actions?
My faith and my honesty is what I stood by. As a building official, I've been tested many times. We don't have enough time tonight to talk about how many times I got cussed, chased, threatened, followed. And I've had my biggest response to builders and developers when they come after me and check and follow me to the truck. And they're yelling in this ear. And they're saying a few choice words that I don't dare repeat. And when I get to the truck, I turn around and say, I'm sorry you feel that way. But that's what the rules are. And that's what you got to do. And they get in the truck and drive away. My faith is what led me here. I cried. Frank Kersey out here, I went to his house. It's 6:45 in the morning. He said, I need your help. He answered the door